In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else: your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
More NBA draft and off-season here. Maybe try to find a bet for next season as we go out to the Progressive guest line. Brian Geltzeiler joins the program. Love talking to this guy. You can follow him on X at BGeltzNBA. Does a great job on SiriusXM NBA as well. Brian, thanks for the time as always. We appreciate that. We were saying in the previous segment, kind of feels like the rich got richer last night, so to speak. Like Oklahoma City and San Antonio, to me, they killed it. What'd you make of those two drafts? And I guess maybe what else did you love?
Well, listen, OKC's got a model here, guys. And the model has to do with we're going to sign short-term contracts to anybody that's not one of our big three. And then when those contracts expire, we're going to replenish with rookie scale guys and be able to rely on those guys to be supporting players. Last night, you saw that Adai Mara was picked at number 12, who is a very good pick for them because he's one of these guys with enough length and enough skill that he can give Victor Wembanyama a little bit of a hard time and lets them match up better with San Antonio. Isaiah Hartenstein's got a team option for $29 million this year. They don't have to exercise it now. And last year they took Thomas Sorber, who spent the entire year hurt. They got two guys in center position on rookie scale deals to go along with Holmgren here that they can take shots with that they'll probably hit on one of them. They may hit on both of them. So, yeah, I agree with you on the rich got richer there. I liked what Oklahoma City did last night. And, again, this is the model in its execution. They went and got Sturts as well, who fits what they like to do. Maybe a little bit too similar playing style to Jared McCain for my taste. But, listen, McCain's coming off his rookie scale deal in 2 years anyway. So they kind of give themselves some options there as well. And the other thing is he's not as big, but he's similar to Nikola Topic as well, who they'll have this year. My point is OKC, the depth doesn't wane, guys. They are still, the rich get richer is a nice way to put it.
Did the Nets make a mistake? I know you're a big Acuff fan.
I love Darius Acuff, and I can't believe that the Nets and Mikal Brown may be fine. They happen to like him a lot. I can't believe you left a potential generational player as a point guard. And I think Acuff would have been a top 2, top 3 pick in any other draft. I can't believe they left him on the board. It's hard for me to believe after last year's draft situation. I know people have made last year out to be a disaster with the 5 firsts in a weak draft. Out of those guys, you're going to have 3 of them that end up being NBA players. They needed to hit this one. And frankly, with Brown, I thought they took more risk than they needed to. Brown's a very talented kid. But when you talk to people about Brown, there's concerns about shot selection and discipline and even just little things like changing speed. So, there's stuff you absolutely are concerned with Brown. And don't get me wrong, guys. Acuff is not going to be a shutdown defensive player, but this is a guy who is favorably drawing comparisons offensively to Damian Lillard, and I think he has for good reason.
And okay, you got a lot here. A lot of people criticizing Milwaukee that they waited too long to trade Giannis. Are you in that camp, and what do you think of the return?
I thought the return was paltry. I thought the return was the best they could do under the circumstances. They traded him 2 years too late. They sat there for 2 years trying to pry a championship window open that was nailed shut. And I can forgive him for doing it for 1 year because the guy won you a title. He's a generational star, and he's one of the top 20 to 25 players ever to play the sport. That's a fact. He also hasn't been healthy in the playoffs in the last 3 times he's been in the playoffs. And this past year, they didn't even get in the playoffs. So it's for them, they held them just way too long. And now you get in a situation where the best offers they had were the Miami draft capital and the poo-poo platter of players that they got, or or you had a Jaylen Brown package. But they didn't trade for Jaylen Brown because, A, they weren't positive he was going to want to be there, number one. Number two, they weren't sure they could get the draft capital in a deal for Jaylen Brown that they were being offered by Miami for Giannis. This was all about draft capital. And what they bet on by taking this year's pick in a stacked draft and by taking 2030 and 2032 is by that time Giannis is going to be over the hill, Miami's going to be terrible, and they're going to have a chance at higher picks. Plus, the other thing about taking the 2030 and 2032 is you don't know what the system is going to be. This particular lottery system only carries you to 2029. So you're not going to get the benefits of Miami being bad as much as you would. They're rolling the dice a little on 2030 and 2032. One more thought here on this trade, which has to do with Khalil Ware, who has got all the skill in the world. You watch this kid come out and go 20 and 15 with 3 blocks and hit 3 threes. And then the following night, he's going to play 6 minutes because he's not interested in playing basketball that night. He's so inconsistent that way. We saw the same thing at Indiana with Mike Woodson when he was there for that 1 year. So for Ware, as much as he's a guy that's got all the ability in the world and all the skill in the world, I don't know that he's going to be somebody that Milwaukee can count on or rely on. It's a little bit of a Hail Mary when if he had just done this thing early, you didn't have to do this kind of Hail Mary.
Yeah, fair enough. By the way, World Cup right now, Canada with a goal. They trail Switzerland now 2-1 as we approach the 77th minute. Brian Geltzeiler, our guest, talking NBA offseason. He's on the Progressive Guest Line, Sirius XM NBA Radio. DraftKings put up a win total for the Miami Heat of 51.5. I mean, they have a lot of work to do. I said yesterday, I hope they have a couple of aces up their sleeve to get the depth, the shooting, the ball handling overall. I don't know how they win 52 games at this point. Where do you right now, and this can change in the next month, 2 months, whatever. Right now, where would you have the Heat in the pecking order of the East?
Well, first of all, I'd lean into the under on that number for 2 reasons. Number one, how many games Giannis going to play?
Yeah.
If Giannis is going to play 68 games, 70 games, that's a number you can go over with. If Giannis is going to play 58 games, that's not an over. That's an under. So that's one part of this. The second thing is this. If you look at their cap situation, they need both Andrew Wiggins and Norm Powell. Norm Powell is a free agent. I have no idea how they're going to re-sign them both. And even if they do what they're trying, that Wiggins has got a player option. And they can essentially say to Wiggins, hey, take $8 million less this year, $10 million less this year, and we'll sign you for 2-3 years. We'll give you a couple extra years on your deal. And Wiggins may end up doing that. That's still not going to be enough to sign Norm Powell because this trade hard capped them at the first apron. So they're limited in what they can do. This is pretty much going to be their team. And when I look at them in the pecking order of the East, they're nowhere close to the Knicks. And at their best, with a healthy Giannis, they're right there with Cleveland, Detroit, and Boston. So listen, if you can elevate yourself, you elevate yourself, right? You never know what happens, who gets hurt when things drop. And the Knicks have had this gift of incredible health over time, and that's worked out well for them. But by the same token, like you just with where Miami is right now, with what they just leaned into, you'd like to see Giannis surrounded by a better team. I hate to say this because Giannis, he tried to get out of there for a long time. He may have gone from the frying pan into the fire here in terms of not having enough around him.
Sure. What happens with Jaylen Brown? How does this play out?
So listen, I think Jaylen Brown's probably going to get moved somewhere. But again, it's not going to be a pitch package. It's going to be a significant player. It's funny. I was on the radio in Utah this morning, and the guys I was on with, mentioned a potential trade to the Jazz with Lauri Markkanen as the main piece. I've heard crazier ideas. The Jazz have some other stuff to throw in. They have some draft capital for Boston. They could certainly give you another player or two underneath that are on rookie scale deals. And I think Jaylen Brown doesn't really want to be there anymore. I think he had a taste of his own team, and he really liked it. And now that he's been shopped like this, I think it's kind of soiled there. I really do. And it's not, and people want to make it out between him and Tatum. Him and Tatum are great. This is him and the organization. And I think he's just kind of run his cycle there. So I think Jaylen Brown's likely to get moved. But I think you're going to see like a team like Houston, I think is going to definitely kick the tires on what they could get for Jaylen Brown. But realize it's not going to be one of these pick-laden packages. It's got to be a significant player that can help Boston be a title contender this year.
Yeah. Well, Brian, you brought him up, and I wanted to ask you about a bet to be made anyway, maybe next offseason. I have the Jazz 150-1 to win the West. I love this team. I love they took Peterson last night. I think they're deep. I think they got a lot of young scoring, obviously. My God, if they would add Jaylen Brown, double me, I would like to double up on that bet. Is there a team that you want to be a part of next year going into the season?
First of all, I you know what? Can I go partners with you on that Utah bet?
Okay.
Because I love Utah. What they just did here with Peters. First of all, I'm a huge Peterson fan. You guys know that. We've talked about that before. And maybe I'm a little biased. My partner Sam Mitchell coached him for 50 games over 2 summers in AAU, and adores the kid. Competitive fire spirit, but one of the guys when he's with the guys. And really, when you watch him play and watch him work out, I haven't seen a player this smooth come into the league since Kobe Bryant, in terms of just how smooth his movements are. Wow. and how just he's such a smooth, good player. And the other thing about him that I think people underrate is he's a killer defensively. He guards people like he's got a lot of competitive spirit and competitive fire, and incredibly talented. I look at the backcourt of him and Ace Bailey and George. I think you got a nice little 3-man backcourt there to go with your bigs in the front court. I think Utah's a very, very dangerous team, you know? So you kind of look at them, and I think they can be somebody very, very interesting in terms of where they went. I'll keep an eye on Atlanta for next year. I think Atlanta makes a big jump. I think keeping McCollum was a very, very smart thing on their part.
Yeah, very good. Noted. Brian, you're the best. Yes. Love talking to you, man. Great spot as always. Thank you. Enjoy round 2 tonight.
Always my pleasure, boys. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Brian Geltzeiler, Sirius XM NBA Radio, at BGeltz NBA on X as well. He is spectacular every time he's on the show here.
I'm with him on Atlanta.
Yeah?
That's at least 6 teams better than Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
Win, lose next. A lot of big numbers cashed last night during the draft, and some truly ridiculous beats that Paulie will detail coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Let me get your attention real quick, podcast listeners. I've got something for you that almost feels too good to be true. First, credit where credit's due. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already leveling up your betting game. You're riding along with our best bets and top angles. And when there's a good game on, you're getting involved with a few props and alt markets as well. There's one more layer if you really want to step things up, and that's VSiN Pro. I've mentioned it before, but things are only getting better for our pro subscribers. We just rolled out our MLB prop projections, breaking down some of the best edges across strikeouts, hits, home runs, and more. And that's on top of everything else pro subscribers already get, including public betting splits, expert picks, and betting guides across the sports calendar. If you haven't tried it yet, stop sleeping on it. You can get your first month just $9.99 or save big with promo code POD26 on the annual subscription. Hit the link in the description and start cashing in with VSiN Pro. All right, back to the show.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
A phenomenal appearance by the maestro, Mike Palm, on the program yesterday. We're going to do it every day during the World Cup, get his thoughts on the games, the matches that we have still to come, and he joins us in studio right now. He just got over here. For those unfamiliar, he was at Bar Canada over at the D. It's a quick walk, I would say. But you got to hit one light, so it's about 8 minutes, maybe
6 to 8.
6 to 8 minutes. And so you're telling me that you got at Bar Canada, phenomenal location to watch games.
Yeah.
You're telling me that during these Canadian matches, you're doing an open bar?
So we're doing an open bar for the 2 hours of the matches for anyone wearing Team Canada colors. But the problem is Swiss was also red and white. So Derek got the backside opened up today. It was basically, there was not anyone not in white or red or both today. So that's the way it was. Go on Twitter. There's a shot, the hockey stick where you have the 4 shot glasses. I did one of those with, interesting, a Canadian fan from Quebec.
Sure. They should have a team.
An Englishman who's friends with the Canadian fan who lives here now, who's a Fulham fan, right? I kept saying, Ghana. Anyhow. And a Swiss, a guy from Switzerland who spoke French, and me. So that was the joke, right?
We're all buddy-buddy here.
Canadian Englishman, a Swiss, and an Iowan walk into a bar. But we got toasted up a little bit.
Wow. And so when they play again, it looks like that'll be Saturday against South Korea as it stands right now. Again, if you're wearing Canadian colors at Bar Canada during the match for 2 hours, open bar.
What beats that, huh?
Boy, Steven, Santa
He was
Claus.
there, too. Derek was there the whole time.
Yeah, excellent. He walked by earlier during the first half. How about the second goal? Come on.
Paul, you could have stopped
It's terrible.
I mean,
total sieve.
huh?
Got to come
You
up.
gotta
with
work
that.
hard not
Paul
to
would have
stop
stopped
that.
that. Yeah.
Gotta come up
He
with
would
that.
have. He would have before he ate his way out of hockey. He still would have stopped it. I mean, it's ridiculous. That was awful. Otherwise, we had 1-1 maybe.
Tell people the Montesano bad beat.
Oh my God,
no,
this
Mike
is awful.
Montesano?
Mike
Yeah.
Montesano had Swiss to win every match of the group.
Yeah, at 3-1, and it was a goal by Cutter, 95th minute against the Swiss from cashing.
Yeah, out of nothing when they had nothing
How
the
did
whole
that
game.
happen?
Yeah.
After
What was
what-
the price on his bar?
3-1 for the Swiss to win
That's
every
sick.
match.
All right, what do you
That's a
got?
really bad
What do you got, my friend?
We're trying to come up with angles in this Morocco match.
We got a Brazil
I'm
Morocco
on I'm
parlay.
on the Marrakesh Express here. This is a top 10 team in the world, Morocco, going against a very poor side. I didn't want to lay 2.5. I laid 2. I think you can, as Nigel would say, you can bet to win to nil here too. Is
Yes.
another angle.
I don't think Haiti scores.
There's no shot Haiti scores here today.
All right,
Oh,
you're
whoa,
strong.
whoa,
You
whoa.
are strong.
0.
The total's 3 now.
It's a 0.
I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
get it.
but the problem is Morocco might score 4. That's the problem. So I bet Morocco -2. It's very interesting. Shop the books because some do the halves, some
Yep,
do
yep.
the even.
Yeah.
We do the even numbers, right? We do as well. Some only do the halves, but you could get Morocco -2, -118 here. I'm a big Morocco believer. I have been. This is a top 10 team in the world. I thought the Morocco-Brazil match was one of the best of the whole tournament. So I just don't
It was.
give much credit to Haiti.
Well, what happened against Scotland? You score a minute in and you shut it down.
Yeah, that's okay. You got
I
3
don't- I don't
points. You
think-
got 3 points. I mean, what do you want?
You think there's a difference between Scotland and Haiti?
Yes,
I-
Scotland is much better than Haiti.
I disagree. Okay.
Really? You disagree?
I
Well,
thought-
we'll agree to disagree. I think there's a big difference.
Does Haiti pack it in, being eliminated?
Why? Why would they pack it in? Why wouldn't
Okay.
they go
Well,
out there and
I don't know.
I think that's a question that
That's
we
a
need to ask about
yeah.
every
for
team that's
what?
been
What are
eliminated.
they trying to do? I mean, I don't understand the political ramifications in the country about whether the coach keeps his job or not. I think this Turkey match is very dangerous because they're going to fire everybody. Turkey thought they were going to win the group.
Sure, haven't
but
scored.
but when you perform that much below expectations. But did Haiti? I mean, Haiti didn't think they were going to do anything in this thing. So why
That's
wouldn't they
true.
go out there and have fun?
Morocco was -550. They're down to 390 at
Oh, it's
DraftKings.
a lot of
So
sharp money at DraftKings on Haiti.
how about the other angle? What you mentioned with USA, but what does Mexico do that they've already won the group? How do
think-
these teams treat this?
I don't know, because you're playing in your home country. I think that you take it more seriously than somebody that's already won their group and have nothing to play for that's playing on foreign soil in a different continent. I do think Mexico will play their game. I know they want to avoid injury. That's why I lean under in that match with the Czechs. I played under 2.5 -122 there.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat on that one.
We're all on the under there.
Yeah, we all like that one. Now, I think the coming up at 6:00 Eastern, maybe this is a great live betting opportunity. Because do you think Morocco cares about winning their group? They're 2 goals back in the differential to Brazil.
I get it, but they would have to at halftime see Brazil was in some sort of struggle.
Right, that's
Right?
correct.
So that's where you have to evaluate based on the other game, right?
They're going to be scoreboard watching.
I mean, there was a time when Canada got down 2-0 that if Qatar was still up by 2, you could have said, they're within reach and they got to go all out here. But that didn't really manifest itself. Yeah, it is an interesting in-game betting opportunity, which we can't tell you what to do until you see the situation.
Right.
But you can lay it out a little bit about, do you want to win your group? I think the teams that are built on defense like Morocco, that don't concede, have less to gain by winning the group than by not. I think certain teams that play open styles want to play weaker teams. I think if you're a team that can shut the other team down and shut them out, you're more comfortable playing against maybe a better team here. But if the opportunity presents itself and somehow Brazil is in a dogfight or Scotland gets up the first goal, then maybe they open it up.
I want to flip it with you, though. What if Brazil's up 2-0 quickly?
Yeah. Well, then you just want to be healthy, right?
And then don't you just pound the under in the
I
Morocco
would pound
match?
the under in that game at that point.
Let me run this by you.
If you could still get maybe a 2.5 or a 3 based on if they have a goal or not, 3.5.
Right. I think Paul, based on us doing this earlier in the show, running down as it stands right now with how this bracket is breaking, has a huge bet on USA to make the quarters at least. If I told you right now that they're going to get Bosnia,
Bosnia's awful. Go ahead.
okay, and then they would get the winner of Egypt, Cape Verde.
Yeah.
You're signing up right now.
I'm signing up. Blow it up.
Blow it up.
Allow us with another rant about the tattooed millionaires if they don't get to the final 8 with that lineup.
Yeah, okay, so
Right?
so is it? If this is exactly how it goes,
What a path.
Well, it's a beautiful path, but they set this up for the home countries, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they
they do.
do this.
do you want to tail Paulie here and bet USA right now to make the quarters?
What's your price, Paul?
I don't know. That's
got to
I
be.
think you have to lay it here, don't you?
Luke, can you?
You have to lay it at this point?
You might have to.
You might have to
might
in
have
that
to.
setup.
Yeah.
You might have to lay a little bit here. If I can get it at minus 120 or better, I'm with Paulie.
And also, books are probably going to do this maybe for a little bit of
Well, there's
protection.
a protection because you know that the people are betting their patriotism here, right?
Yep.
Plus 105 right now.
All right, send it in, Paul.
Yeah. It's a good
I'm going to
price.
say, how much will a book take? Will a book take 100K?
It's the World Cup, I would hope.
Yeah.
I would hope, right? Let's put up. You put up 50. I'll put up 50. We'll play your 50 first. All right. Let's.
You'll match.
I'll match. We'll play your 50
Love
first
that
and see how the
match
first round of the knockouts goes.
Love the match play. It's awesome. Derek with the chips. So you're coming on in the second hour again tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
We'll be at halftime. What do you think of Ecuador, Germany?
This is a fascinating matchup to me. I've thought about this for literally hours because I'm a big Ecuador guy. So
Yeah.
I've bet Ecuador to advance.
Meat
That
Man
was
gave
my-
them out on a future. Says they get in, watch out. 250, 300 to 1.
Yeah, watch out because they can shut you down,
Yeah, okay.
right?
Yes.
And Germany's coasting. So I think you have to look very strongly at Ecuador at under tomorrow.
Germany's at the top of
Yep.
the left bracket, already winning the group.
Yep.
So that's
I'm not
That's
a
in
big
the
believer
bag.
that Germany's a great team
No,
either.
okay.
I don't consider them amongst these. I separate everybody into semifinal candidates. Can you get to the final four? I'm not there with Germany.
No, you're not. Okay.
I'm not there with Germany.
Because if they, again, right now in the last 32, they would play Paraguay.
Yeah.
And then if they win that match, they would get France next. That probably would not go well for the Germans.
No, they'll be a decided underdog.
Oh, huge
against
dog,
France.
I would think, right? Yeah.
France is a team that their own worst enemy is France. I mean, there's something about it's like a basketball team and sharing the ball, right? Are there enough touches, right? Because France, I mean, you could make the argument that Mbappe's the second or third best player on the team, but this was a World Cup for him to try to establish this is still Mbappe's France. But I mean, he left PSG. PSG couldn't win the Champions League. He left and went to Real Madrid. They've done nothing, and PSG's won it 2 years in a row. So there's some talk about is this still Mbappe's France? Obviously, it's Didier Deschamps, their coach's last go round here. So there's some sentimental angle there as well.
Okay.
you lay it with Ivory Coast.
They're a very interesting team, aren't they? I think you have to. I think you have to lay it with them. I think
mean, you got is the keeper going to have 16 saves again? Whatever the hell it was.
I mean,
come on, what a performance! That was ridiculous.
the game last night
Oh, don't bring
with
it up.
Colombia, I mean, that was pretty incredible as well.
Yes,
I laid a goal.
What did they have?
20 shots.
What did they have? 5 goals called back?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
felt like that.
It was like 4. It was at least
Yeah.
3 or 4,
Yeah.
right? That they had. I mean, some of them were obvious, but like, how many chances were they going to have? And then they had to pull it out on a deflection
I
in the
know.
75th minute.
They had to. I almost
I
lost
know.
the -1 bet that I
You
had.
thought you were going to, right?
thought I was
you
going
you
to.
were dead.
Thought I was
Thought
dead.
you were going to lose that bet.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Incredible. Thank you for having me on.
he
I
gave you-
appreciate it.
yeah,
I
he gave
appreciate
you-
you being flexible.
He gave you the setup earlier. 8 years ago, if I said put the Premier League on, you yelled at
I
me.
poo-pooed. I said we got to take it off at half, and no one's watching.
Now your
soccer
favorite
allowed.
sport to bet?
Unbelievable.
To bet, maybe not to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, to bet, man. I still like hockey and baseball.
Give him a follow on X at Circa Maestro. We're going to run it all the way back again tomorrow.
Every day until the World Cup ends.
You're the man. Thanks for doing this. Baseball next. Wait until you hear this. Total domination between these two teams. Almost 30 games over 500 the past handful of years.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Cannot get enough of the World Cup. We have the fever. It's over-delivered, in my opinion. Been better than anticipated. And more on that now as we go out to the progressive guest line. Dalen Cuff, very cool, man. He's joining us once a week around the same time as the event continues. Joins the program, progressive guest line. Dalen, thank you very much. We have to start here. You told us that you were making the trek as a fan last week to Seattle to watch, and you don't do a lot as a fan, right? You made that pretty clear on the air. So what was that like to see that scene and experience that in Seattle last Friday for USA and Australia?
It was one of the best, not just sporting experience, one of the best experiences of my life. And I got to share with my wife, who played college soccer, played at Charleston Southern. So she was so amped about the game, and we've been talking about it for months, the opportunity to go. I would say a couple things. First and foremost, the venue matters. And being in Seattle, I think even heightened the experience because it's a walkable venue. So you had that European feel where everybody's walking to the match and just you could feel the energy as you get closer and closer. Every bar you passed, of course, we had to stop in one at 8:15 and 8:45. And that has to happen, Pacific time. But we're up in there, and there's the vibe is great. I would say the Aussies showed themselves well, too. There's a good amount of yellow and green in that mix, too. And as you got in the stadium, there was that energy, the fever pitch building. And I think what this event is doing, not just for America, but more broadly, not to get political, but we got some issues and how the world views us and how we view the world. There's all types of different challenges right now. But the best of America is a bit on display right now. Europeans are coming over and be like, wow, this is the America that I remember and thought I knew. Well, this is still it. All right. And Americans still are pumped to host this event and be part of this event. And then their team is representing in such a way that is so palpable that everybody in that stands, guys, nobody sat for the entire match, which when I went to the ones in Brazil in 2014, we saw U.S. play Portugal and U.S. play Germany and Manaus in the Amazons. And then once another game in Recife in the northeast part of the country. There was a great energy, but it wasn't all U.S. fans. People sat. It's just a different environment. Everybody standing the entire time, chanting. The energy. The national anthem is something I'm never going to forget. Everybody just belting it out with complete pride that we are Americans. We are here. We want to represent. And we've got this team right now that is representing us at the highest level, at the utmost that I ever thought they could do. I did not think, I was with you guys a couple weeks ago. I was very skeptical. We'd never seen the team put it together. We saw an amazing 90 minutes. We saw a really good 70 minutes the other day. Mm-hmm. And this team is exuding everything Americans want to see. So it was just, I can't speak highly of it enough. And to the point where nobody wanted to leave. I'm sure you saw the Country Roads thing afterwards, the living on a prayer. Like the fans didn't want to leave. The players didn't want to leave. It was truly a remarkable experience.
Great answer. Good perspective. Well done. 10 minutes away. State your case. Scotland plus a goal and a half against Brazil.
They're just hard to break down. They're just not going to be easy. These guys need a point. Like they're playing for a point here. That really would put them through to the knockout stage if they're sitting on 4 points. And Scotland hasn't been in a knockout stage in like 40 some years. So like this would be massive if they could get there. And this, when you look at their last couple games, when they are the underdog, they've lost 4 straight games as 1-0. Okay, I'll take my point. I'll take my goal and a half right now. They do have Neymar on the bench. I actually think when Neymar gets thrown in this game, I don't know if that really helps Brazil offensively. Like he's not performing at the level he once was. He's coming off injury, and he has that gravitas where guys might try to play through him and force through him. And we've talked about that with other stars in this tournament. That doesn't always work. That said, Scotland is organized. They are physical. They are tough. We saw Ghana do it to England yesterday. You can sit back and park the bus, and you can counter. And there should have been a penalty there. They didn't get it, but you can sit back, you can park the bus and look for your shot and set pieces. That Scotland is still very good on set pieces. If they can get ahead and get up there and get fouled or maybe earn a corner or two. I think this is going to be a bit of a slog of a game. You are playing down in Miami. It's still hot down there. At kickoff, it's going to be around 80, 88, 89 degrees.
Correct.
It feels like we'll be higher. Brazil, yes, more used to that than the Scots, but I think they're just going to sit back, park that bus, and make it as hard as possible. And if they walk out with a point, that is a victory for them. So give me Scotland plus 1.5.
Okay. All right. How about later on tonight then? A bunch of us here, the way it feels on this show, the network maybe on Mexico, this match to go under 2.5. You like that bet as well?
Yeah, I hate when everybody's on the same thing. We don't really like that, but it just Mexico has struggled to manufacture offense, and so is Czechia. Like Czechia is really dependent on their set pieces. Now, when they do have a size advantage, and if they can, or same thing kind of with Scotland, they can earn some set piece in the attacking third. They're going to lump that ball in the box. Long throw-ins will be effective as well. They're going to try to just put that ball in there in that mixer and see what can happen. They scored that first goal against South Korea in the beginning part of the tournament, and then they ceded that lead. They don't manufacture a ton. Mexico has not shown they've manufactured a ton. Mexico, we know, is already through and feeling pretty good. Czechia, a point would go a long way for them. So I think, again, you had this kind of cat and mouse of the last game of the group. Who needs what and who's playing for what will influence some style of play. And with Czechia, they would prefer to be sitting back anyway. So I think the under 2.5 here is the play.
Okay, here's what I really want to get into. And it happens in the Mexico match tomorrow with Germany and us when we take on Turkey. How do these teams treat the match that have already clinched the group?
Let's start with our game, because I think our game is a unique dynamic. And not unique, it's a more abnormal dynamic because you have us already through as the first team and Turkey out. Yeah. Which is now, again, expectations matter in this tournament. You can go back and watch some of the scenes of Turkey leaving. I mean, the president's there. They've got like 80 police cars bringing the bus through. They got fans lining the way. They've had great runs in the past. And they believed with their group, when they saw their draw, when they got in, they were the final qualifying teams. They wanted Paraguay, the U.S., and Australia. They got it. Well, they're out in 2 games. Those expectations are far from met. They are down in the mouth. So it's you got one team that, are they just going to play for pride, or are they going to punt? They've taken 62 shots and haven't finished any of them. And you have the U.S. here that's already through. You got 4 guys on yellow cards. Now, Christian Pulisic, does he play? Does he not? My biggest advice in this game is you do not bet till you see both lineups. And if the U.S. lineup is completely changed, doesn't mean we can't win. But if like Arda Güler's not playing for Turkey, or Çalhanoğlu's not playing for Turkey, they've punted. So you now that can adjust your examination of the game. But until I see a lineup, I'm not firing on a U.S. game because I don't know who's on the field. I don't know how either team wants to treat this game. I think the U.S. wants to win, wants to maintain momentum, and they can do that with some of their backup players. If they start the full 11, then yeah, I think the lean is pretty hard to the U.S. Then you're trying to find value in that point. I'm not sure you're going to find it, but you got to see who's on to be on the field for both teams, and we won't know that, and we don't necessarily, again, know their motivations. When you talk like Germany, Ecuador needs the game. Germany may not, but Ecuador needs the game. So Ecuador's going to try to play, and they're going to be physical like they always are. They're going to be tough on defense. They're going to look to counter, and if Germany puts out a second-tier lineup, then you would probably lean to Ecuador. But a lot of these matches, again, if somebody's qualified or somebody's out, there is no bet till I see who's on the field.
Yeah. Also a difference here, by the way, great observation there with Turkey and comparing that country already eliminated to one that we have coming up in 8 minutes with Haiti. Okay, what were their expectations in that country compared to that of Turkey? And is Haiti going to go away quietly in this match? That feels very unlikely to me.
Absolutely not. Like I worked with a guy at CBS Sports this past year. He's of Haitian descent, and my man was living and dying on every qualifier. And all that mattered is, can we get to the dance? Do we get to play these 3 games in the summer in the United States, Mexico, and Canada? And they got there. And they're going to try to celebrate. Guys, we've seen other teams. We saw Curacao score a goal and lose their minds just because they got a goal at the World Cup.
Yes.
Like this is, again, the expectations, the country's history, where they're at in their developmental program, all that matters. So Haiti just being on the field again with a chance to score a goal or a chance to get a point, they are going to play and fight as hard as humanly possible. I mean, the Soca Warriors are a historic thing in that country. There is a pride in that country. And that country's gone through some really tough times. They are going to play in this match. Now, play is for them is can we survive and score a goal and win a game? They're not going to be out here doing some tiki-taka stuff they don't normally do, but they're going to try to compete. There is no question in my mind. And Morocco needs this game and needs it big, because they need to overcome the goal deficit that they trail Brazil right now. And they need to hope Scotland, like we just talked about, performs well against Brazil. So Morocco's going to play all out. I think Haiti's playing all out in this game. And the lineup for Morocco shows that, of course, they're going for it.
Yeah. In about 90 seconds here, as it stands right now, the U.S. would get Bosnia in the next match. And then if they win that, they'd get the winner of Egypt, Cape Verde. Plus 105 out there to make the quarters. What do you think?
My play is the negative play on that same thing. I want them to get to the quarters, but if they get to the quarters, they're likely playing Spain.
Yeah.
So if you think they're going to get there and you want to make this play, I think if you're looking for any value, it's to take the U.S. out in the quarters currently. That's at 3-1.
Beautiful.
So you're going to get some value there to play. And now, yes, lose to Spain, but you're getting some value. And then if you want to bet that game when it gets to it, I don't think you're definitely not getting the U.S. in a 3-way market at 3-1 if they get to the quarterfinals. That's just not going to happen. So if you want to make that move, that would be the play right now. The other element of it is if you want to just go gung-ho U.S., I would not be betting U.S. to win this whole thing, although their odds have come down more than anybody in this tournament. You're going to have to beat 3 giants, likely Spain, likely France. On the other side of the bracket could be England, could be Argentina, could be Portugal. 3 straight giants. I know it's on home soil. The play would be just get them to the semifinals. It was plus 425 yesterday. I believe it's still in that same space. Then you're saying, okay, in a one scenario knockout against Spain, basically, can we beat that team? Yeah, we broke their 35-game unbeaten streak back in 2009. It's happened before, and this team is better than that 2009 team. So, yeah, it could happen. But if we're going to be really prudent with it, I would take the 3-1 U.S. out in the quarters.
Dalen, you're the best. Dynamite as always. Thank you. Enjoy the matches coming up tonight. We appreciate it.
Anytime, boys. See you next week.
Follow him on X at Dalen Cuff. Turner Sports Progressive Guest Line. These matches are going to be underway, and the draft went well for a couple of teams, including OKC, but I wish they had done this instead.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
As our producer Luke called it, a world-class ripper by Haiti. Another goal, 2-1. Well, my bet's dead. Oh, under 3.5. Kiss that one goodbye. But as soon as Morocco scored to make it one apiece, Haiti went back to 11-1 to win. Now they're plus 175. They are...
They're going to have the lead at halftime and almost 2-1 to win the damn thing.
And I think 2-1 was 12-1 in the 30th minute when he ran down those exact scores.
That's what you said. For the match, this is going to be a banger. 2-1 Haiti exacta was 45-1.
Sure.
We're really getting into some. 3-1 was 175. It's in play. It's in play. Come on, Brazil.
Oh, so close. All right, hanging out here. Zach Cohen, still on the program, the Progressive Guest Line. By the way, make sure you give him a follow at Betting on X. Does a great job on a daily basis throughout the entire year on whichever sport he's writing about and betting on at that time at vsin.com. Let's go betting guide now, NFL guide out, vsin.com/subscribe. I called them an unlikely candidate, but you really like Minnesota, huh, going into the season?
Yeah, I did this last year too. I feel a little bit better about it this year, though. I just feel like this team, as long as they have Kevin O'Connell as their offensive play caller and Brian Flores as their defensive play caller, I'm going to feel really good about them. And I feel like so many things went wrong to start last season that they can't possibly happen again. I mean, the offensive line health was a disaster to start last year. They should be in better shape up front this year. And I do think that the quarterback room is going to be a little bit better with Kyler Murray coming in. I mean, I do live out here in Arizona. Whenever I've watched Murray, I've not been that impressed, but there's no denying that there's talent there. He can really run. He has a big arm. And just putting somebody like that in a situation where you're surrounded by pass catching talent and you have one of the best play callers in the league, I think you could expect a major bounce back, just like you kind of saw it as Sam Darnold. I feel like Murray's going to get his career back on track if he is the starter here. If not, I feel like it says good things about what J.J. McCarthy was able to do in training camp. But I like this team signing Juwan Jennings. I think they have one of the best, groups of pass catchers in the entire NFL, and I trust the coaching. So I have the Vikings to go over 8.5 wins. I took a little bit of them to win the NFC North, and I have a sprinkle on them to win the Super Bowl as well.
Excellent.
Very strong.
Very good. Like it.
Another goal, by the way. Morocco now 2-2. So I bet the live under 3.5 in what evidently is going to be the highest scoring game in World Cup history.
Yes.
That's fun.
What do we, the total now? We had 5.5 over 180. So how about some MVP bets? There were some big numbers on Murray. Can you get there? I love what you're talking about here with the breakdown. If he can be in the MVP discussion, if everything goes right, what's the price?
I mean, I sprinkled it at 70-1. I can't say it's the most confident I am of all the selections I gave out in the guide in terms of just that award to win MVP, but I do think there's a chance. I mean, like I said, Darnold played so well for this team, and that kind of came out of nowhere. I feel like it's a very similar situation. You have Jefferson, you have Addison, you have Hawkinson. Like I said, they added Jennings. Yeah. The pass catching talent is there. If they can keep him upright and he's not running for his life every possession, if he's throwing from a lot of clean pockets, I think the sky is the limit in terms of the numbers he could put up. So between the rushing and the passing, I think we're going to see a really strong season out of him if he ends up being their week 1 starter.
So Kyler's one guy that you bet to win the MVP. You wrote about 3 others as well. You didn't go with any non-quarterbacks because they win the award so often. But who else do you like other than Kyler Murray?
Yeah, I'd say the main one is Dak Prescott. I feel like that's my favorite of kind of the chalkier options. Like, this is another team. I feel like one of the themes of this year's guide is I'm taking a lot of teams and players that I don't necessarily like. But Dallas was a top 5 offensive team last year. They returned all of their weapons with CD and Pickens back. And I just feel like Dak has a really good grip of that offense. And we've seen him in the past either rack up passing yards or rack up passing touchdowns. And all it will take is doing both in one season and Dallas winning like 11 or 12 games. And I do think the Cowboys are going to be much better defensively this year. I actually love Caleb Downs to win Defensive Rookie of the Year at plus 850. So I feel like that side of the ball improves and Dallas ends up being a double-digit win team and ends up getting him in the conversation.
We saw last year that the schedule didn't matter. If you have the wins, Vrabel got the award. What are you thinking Coach of the Year if there can be a big turnaround with two organizations.
Yeah, so the coach of the year for me is really kind of correlated pretty strongly with the article I've been writing about the worst to first candidates. So last year when I wrote it up, I pretty much took all the same coaches. This year, pretty much the same. I like the Saints and I like the Titans as two turnaround teams this year. So I took Kellen Moore 12-1. I took Robert Saleh 14-1. And in Tennessee's case, I'm not even a big Saleh fan. Like I am a Jet fan, so I don't have the greatest memories of him as a head coach, but I loved them hiring Brian Daboll. So I think that they're pretty well set on both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. And I feel like that's a team that's going to make a pretty big jump. I don't know if it's going to be to jump to 9 wins or 10 wins, but I do like the Titans to win 7 games. And I wonder if that would be enough for Saleh to get some flowers. Probably not, but Moore is the one that, the Saints have a really good chance of winning that division. So I think he would get all the credit for turning that team around, even though it did start with the defense last year. Towards the end of the regular season, Brandon Staley did a really good job of kind of fixing that unit. They now head into this season with some real momentum on that side of the ball, and offensively as well. I've talked about weapons with all these other teams. I love what New Orleans is starting to put together with Travis Etienne in that backfield, Jordan Tyson joining the group of receivers. It's a really good group of guys if Tyler Shuck is any bit legitimate.
Oh, I think he is. He is one guy that I'm going to sprinkle on to win the MVP, and I'm with you on the Saints too. I think based on the schedule, everything you just ran down, taking another wide receiver in the top 10, I think the Saints can push to 10 wins in that division, win it, and then Kellen Moore is going to be obviously alive to win the coach of the year there. The two highest power-rated teams in football, probably in the same division, Rams and the Seahawks. What do you want to do with the 49ers?
I like the 49ers to, potentially win that division. I haven't taken that yet, but I went over 9.5 wins, a little bit juicy at -146, but I think they're a double-digit team win. I keep saying that, but I think that they're also a Super Bowl candidate as well. I just feel like if you look at the offensive weapons that team has, it's something else. I mean, they've brought back the guys that have been great there for years now. Christian McCaffrey being back, George Kittle being back. I think Ricky Pearsall showed out really well last year. And now you're adding Mike Evans to the mix. This is a team that I think is going to be impossible for opposing defenses to stop. Purdy is one of my MVP picks as well. So kind of spoiling everything I have in the guide right now. But Purdy's a player that has been very, very sharp early in his NFL career. Injuries have kind of gotten to him. But last year, in terms of Pro Football Focus grade, he graded out as one of the top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL. So with an improved group of weapons, I think he takes that a step further. And defensively, no more Saleh, but I do like Raheem Morris as a defensive coordinator, even though I don't like him as a head coach. And I think that they did a decent job of kind of retooling that team. So it is a loaded conference, loaded division, everything. But I do think San Francisco can get to double-digit wins. And if they're in the playoffs, I really think they have a chance of beating anyone.
All right, very good. By the way, you talked about 3 of your MVP bets that you have. The 4th one is in the guide. Go get it today, VSiN.com/subscribe. And you can also read the analysis and the breakdowns by Zach. They're in depth and at length. So very well done by him with much more analysis there. What about the team in your own backyard, the Arizona Cardinals? Are they the worst team in the NFL? Did you maybe bet them for the most losses of the year?
I haven't yet, but I really should look into it. I should either look into that or the under on the win total. I mean, when you have a Jacoby Brissett, quarterback controversy, that's never a good thing. And when your best player is a running back, that is also a problem. So I think that team is way too far away to be drafting Jeremiah Love. I think that he's a fantastic player. He's going to be one of the best running backs in football. But man, without quarterback play, I don't know why it matters to draft an elite running back. I thought that was a mistake. And defensively, I don't think that team's going to be much better. They will probably be the worst team in football this year.
Yeah. Great job, Zach. Today, yesterday on the show as well, and every day when you're writing and in the guide as well. Follow him on X at Betting on Zach. He's Zach Cohen. Thanks, pal. We appreciate it. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. I think Betting on X is what he's at Betting on X for the Twitter handle. All right, so both these matches are now at the half. 2-2 Morocco and Haiti. That game exploded. Was that all after the hydration break, by the way? I think it was 3 of the goals after that hydration break.
Yeah.
And Brazil, by the way, had another chance for a 3rd goal. And then they had one taken off the board.
Right.
They lead 2-0 right now.
Draw 18-1. 3.5's the total, under -120. Morocco, Haiti total 5.5 over -180.
Yeah, Morocco's higher than $2 to win the match, and the draw is in the 3-1 neighborhood on that.
Brazil looks great. It could be 4-0. They look fantastic.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Stay tuned. Coming up next, VSiN Primetime. Femi Abebefe, Will Hill, they're going to take you through the entire live betting evening. Then you can wake up early tomorrow, VSiN by the books at 7 a.m. with Jensen and Dave Ross, followed by a numbers game at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Best of luck betting tonight. We'll see you.